Hello everyone and welcome back to another 40-minute maths. It's a pretty cold, miserable day out. You can tell it must be pretty miserable and cold because I'm wearing a jumper indoors, which never ever actually usually happens. So today we're going to carry on with some arithmetic questions as we are every Wednesday. So I suggest if you're not too sure on any elements of it, you go back and check one of my old videos to help you out. Okay, so we're going to start off today with a little bit of can you go quicker than Mr. Gosling? So usual drill, you shout at the screen, I shout at the computer, whoever's first wins. 9 times 2, 18. 101, add 102. 203. 8 times 9. 72. 66 divided by 2. 33. 11 subtract 18. Minus 7. 1,000 divided by 8. 125. So for that one, I knew that a quarter of 1,000 was 250, and then I just halved a quarter to make 125. 30% of 2,000. Is 600. I knew 10% was 200 and then I times that by 3. 120 divided by 4 is 30. Two ways you could have done this. You could have done 12 divided by 4 and then put a 0 in the end, or you could have halved it and halved it again. You both get the answer both times. You'll get the answer of 30. Quarter of 36 is 9. 36 divided by 4 is 9. To find a quarter, you divide by 4. 3 groups of 7. 21. Groups of means multiply. The difference between 78 and 91. 13. 10 squared. 100. Square root of 121 is 11. 1 squared plus 3 squared is 10. The product of 12 and 6 is 72. Remember, product means to multiply. 280 divided by 7 is 40. Remember, 28 divided by 7 is 4, so 280 divided by 7 is 40. 2.6 times 2 is 5.2. 9 divided by 2 is 4.5. 0.8 times 5. 4. 9 add 8 times 10 is 89. Okay, so let's have a look at today's learning intention. Can I quickly and accurately solve arithmetic problems? So the keywords here are quickly and accurately. Lots of the questions you'll know exactly how to do, but it's whether you can do them quickly and, more importantly, accurately. You don't want to do them so quick that you're not accurate, and then you get the question wrong. So those words are very, very important. And the two skills which I'm going to look at specifically in the input before we go through for you to do them are being able to subtract a decimal from a whole number and multiply decimals. And there's a couple of best in the business bonus questions at the end as well. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to look at is how to subtract a decimal from a whole number. So if you look at this, 9 subtract 3.4. So whenever you're doing column addition or subtraction of a decimal, the most important thing is that you line up the decimal point. Now this says 9 here, which actually is the same as 9.0. Okay, so therefore you've got to line up 3.4 next to it, like this. And then you've got a nice straightforward column subtraction. 0 take away 4 you can't do, so you turn the 9 into an 8. And the 0 goes to a 10. So 10 take away 4 is 6. Don't forget your decimal point, and 8 take away 3 is 5. So it'll be 5.6. Okay, so we're going to have a look at multiplying decimal numbers now. So the first thing you've probably noticed, if we're doing a multiplication, is that the decimal point does not need to line up when you're multiplying decimals at this point here when you write the question. So don't worry about it if it is not in the right place. If you can remember back to my fitness video where I did some examples of how to multiply decimals, my first top tip was to ignore the decimal point and pretend that in fact you're multiplying 349 by 24. So that's what we're going to do until right at the end, and the last thing we're going to do is we're going to put in a decimal point. So here we go then. 4 times 9 makes 36. So we're going to put the 6 there and carry the 3. I like to carry my numbers here in this box. Other people I've seen put them all over the place really. It doesn't matter where you put them, as long as you're comfortable with where you put them and you can remember to add them on. 4 times 4 is 16. Add the 3, which makes 19. But do make sure you cross it out so you know that you've done it and you don't do it twice. 4 times 3 is 12. Add the 1 is 13. The next thing you'll have to do is put a 0 as a placeholder, because remember we're pretending that we're multiplying 349 by 24. And 2 times 9 is 18. 8, carry the 1. 2 times 4 is 8. Add the 1, which makes 9. Cross the 1 out. And 2 times 3, which is 6. Okay, so now we're going to do a straightforward column addition. So 6 add 0 makes 6. 9 plus 8 makes 17. 7, carry the 1. 3 plus 9 makes 12. Add the 1 is 13. Cross that out. And then 1 plus 6 plus 1 makes 8. 1, 2, 3 numbers after decimal point. So we've got to count back 3 places and put our decimal point in. 1, 2, 3. So the answer would be 8.376. Okay, so it's time for you to crack on with some questions of your own. So press pause to crack them on your own. If not, I'm going to go through and erase the bit covering the answer. So here we go. Six eighths, of course, you could have simplified to 3/4. This bit is a bit of BODMAS here, so you should have done 2 times 7 first, then added the 3 after. Okay, so here is your next lot of arithmetic questions. So press pause to correct them on your own, and I'm going to reveal the answers now. You could have changed this one into 1 7/12. And here is your last lot of arithmetic questions. Press pause now. Okay, so here is your first best in the business bonus question. So press pause to crack it on your own. If not, I'm going to go for it now. Okay, so these these pairs of trainers, 3 pairs, add up to make 30. So each pair of trainer has got to be 10. Now, if you remember last week, I said I actually like to write numbers almost on top of them. It just helps me to do it. Sorry about my dodgy tens. It's hard to use the mouse on the computer to write. So you've got 2 men plus a pair of trainers that make 20. We know the trainers make 10. So each man is 5 each. 5 add 5 add 10 make 20. Okay. Here we have. Now I don't even know what these are. There's these stick things. 2 lots of these stick things plus a man makes 13. So we know the man is 5. So each one of these. So 5. What do you have to add to? So 13 to make away 5 makes 8. So these have got to make 4 each. I don't know if I'm being really stupid not knowing what these are, but I just can't tell. So we've got a trainer plus a man times a stick thingy. So we know the trainers are 10 for a pair, so a trainer on its own, it's going to be 5. And we know the man is 5. We know 2 of these make 4, so one of them got to make 2. So you do, obviously there's a little bit of bod mass at the bottom, so you do 5 times 2, which makes 10, and add the 5 to make 15. Okay, so I hope you got on all right with the first part of your Best in the Business bonus questions. Now I'm going to put up another question for you. Now, before you do this, I suggest you look really, 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 really carefully at the picture. Miss Quimby sent me this one over Easter, and it took me a few goes to get it right, because basically I wasn't really looking so closely at the question. So as with always with maths, or if you're in a maths test or maths exam, or just doing a lesson, you've really got to read that question carefully. So good luck. So here we go then. As I said before, I was getting, it took me a few goes to get this, and I was getting so frustrated that I couldn't get it. So it just goes to show you've really, really got to look carefully. So off you go, press pause to have a go on your own. Okay, so if your answer was 109, unfortunately, you are wrong. Have another go. If your answer was 32, unfortunately, you are wrong. Have another go. Okay, so I'm going to go through the answer now. So you've got 3 of these little wizard men here. Or wizard women, sorry, add together to make 45. So each one therefore has got to be 15, 15, and 15. And you've got 3 stars that add together to make 21. So 21 divided by 3 have got to be 7. Then look at the broomsticks. 1, 2, 3 broomsticks that make 12. But hold on a second. There's not 3 broomsticks. There is, if you look super closely in the middle, there's 2 broomsticks there. So there's 4 broomsticks that make 12. So in fact, broomsticks are 3. But I'm going to put 6 here because there's 2 of them. And I'm going to put 3 here. And let's have a look at the bottom. So we know broomsticks 3, right? Now, the little wizard woman. We can see, if you look carefully in this photograph, she does not have a broomstick and she does not have a star. In this one, she's got a broomstick and a star, which makes 15. So if you take away the broomstick and the star, broomstick is 3, star is 7, little wizard woman is 5. Now, if you look here, you've got, if you look very carefully, there are 2 stars. There's not just 1 star, there's 2 stars. So that's got to be 14. So you would do 5 multiplied by 14, which makes 70, then add the 3 to make 73. Thank you very much, Miss Quimby, for that. You really demonstrated to me how carefully it is that you look at the question carefully. Well done if you managed to crack that. That's mega tricky. Right, so if anyone managed to get that best in the business bonus question, the second one, first time round, then that is absolutely fantastic. Well done. If you didn't, then as I said, I got it wrong a few times myself, so don't worry too much about it. Okay, apart from that, hope everybody is keeping well. Stay safe, be good for your parents, and I'll catch you next time.